was called, but I know it was something along the lines of light skin, something light skin. Let me see. Here we go. The horrible truth about evil light skins. Now, before we get into this, yeah. Hey, fruit punch, bigger, has got to be the best drink man made. They definitely put crack in that shit. They definitely put crack in that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. But listen, before we get into this, I actually wanted to let me chat to you lot about, because this is a serious topic. This is a serious topic, my guy. Now, if anyone knows about this, right? In every man's lifetime. In every man's lifetime, he will come across a light skin. And a light skin will traumatize him. It's a known fact. It's the prophecy. It's the prophecies of all prophecies. A man will come across a light skin, and a man will come, listen, I'm trying to speak, I'm glitching, sorry. It's the prophecies of all prophecies, yeah? A man will come across a light skin and they will go through a traumatic experience. It is inevitable, yeah? It is inevitable. As a man, you know what I'm saying, who's been there and experienced it. Now, not all light skins are bad, but the prophecy is always fulfilled. I'm telling you, the prophecy is all in a man's life. At some point, you will always come across a light skin that's going to cause you traumatic experience. Whether she breaks her heart, whether she plays you, whether she rejects you, you will come across these light skins that want to ruin your mental state. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's just the fact. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, my biggest advice to the man out there who haven't gone through it, go through it. You need to get that out the way. You need to go through that and get that out the way. You can't be stuck in a position where you're getting way too old and you're dealing with that traumatic, because then it will just ruin your life. Do you know what I'm saying? It will just not ruin your life, but that moment in your life will be very, very tough. So every man does go through that. My biggest advice would probably be, if you are going through a light skin canon in your life, you know what I'm saying, that moment in your life is you dealing with light skins, then I would say brace yourself, buckle up, you know what I'm saying, and protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself and at all times, you know what I'm saying? Because the heartache you might go through, or the headache you might go through, should I say, exceeds all types. It's more of a migraine. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But I would say not all light skins are like that. I would say not all light skins are bad, but it is a canon event in your life that every man goes through. It's a fact. It's a flipping fact. Just be careful. But we're gonna get into this video because I think it's key we get into this video. Let me just set this all up for us to watch. You dig? But let's get into this. Let's get into this. Traumatic experience. Day is from the 8th to the 11th of July. Can't lie. But let's go. I'm ready.
A part of the
Black. Every villain is light-skinned.
Black queens forever.
Light-skinned.
Never. I said black queens forever.
Light-skinned.
Never.
You know, recently on TikTok, there's been a trend of people exposing the truth about light skins. I mean, I've seen people breaking it down on whiteboards, teaching classes about it.
How do we find out if the light skin you're talking to is in fact
a demon?
1. Doesn't reply to your text but views your story. This is an early sign to know if they actually mess with you for real or not.
They even created a whole phrase.
I genuinely believe that a light skin replies has to be #1 worst replies of all time. I'm not even trying to like, I'm being real. You know what I'm saying? and that's just the fact. Like this is something you have to prepare yourself for. Yeah.
Every villain is light-skinned. And a lot of people think this is just a funny TikTok, but I'm here to tell you, this is the absolute truth. And I'm absolutely terrified of these people, especially the women. Like I'm telling you right now, every single bad experience I've had with a woman has been from a light-skinned. Like they either play me, manipulate me, extort money out of me, or just use me for my body. Like I have a soul too. Stop just bouncing on my dick. And it's worse for me because like, for some reason, my body is just attracted to light-skinned women. Like, make no mistake, I don't have a type, but I do have a preference, and it's light-skinned, curly-hair women that are evil Jezebels. Like, every single one of them that I've encountered has the prettiest smiles and the most beautiful eyes. But I have the most evil spirits behind those horrible eyes. And here's how they get you down. Because the devils don't present themselves as the devil. They present themselves as the most beautiful substance ever. They act all innocent and cool and make you think that they're a really good, genuine person. To the point where you get attached to them and you even may fall in love. Then you start having thoughts like, yo, I'm lucky as how did we, yes, you and me, end up with such a beautiful girl with such a great personality? Like,
don't fall for it. It's a trick, and I've got a perfect analogy. I wanna make sure you lot understand. I've got the perfect analogy for pretty light-skinned women that are just demonic. They're very demonic. They're demons, and we call them the demon lightskins. But I have another analogy, and I'm gonna get into it, and you lot are gonna believe that. You lot will be shocked at this analogy. I'm telling you.
No way nobody else wanted this girl, which should be the first obvious clue that something is very, very wrong here. But I digress. We're still under the spell. And then you start feeling like you're in a movie, like you're the main protagonist in some Disney rom-com. You start seeing the future with this girl. You start taking her on dates, spending money. You even start to cut off your roster because you've found your star player. You think this girl is the one for you. And then in the height of y'all's talking stage, she proceeds to ghost you. All while still posting on her.
If you've never been ghosted by a light skin before, you ain't lived. If you've never been ghosted by a lighty before, you have never lived. And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? It is the prophecy. I said this, it's the prophecy of all men. You have to go through real rejection and to go through real dating, you have to be aired by a lighty. A light-skinned woman has to air you in your lifetime. If not, you are suffering. It's as simple as that.
Story in her IG notes, talking about how she's so in love and how God,
not suffering, but yeah,
God's finally gifted her the man she's always desired. Meanwhile, you had been on delivery for 5 days. Totally not speaking from experience. And then you proceed to start double texting her because maybe she just didn't see the text, or maybe her phone is broken and she's using a different one and she just doesn't have your number. And then one random day on her story, she posts her holding somebody's hand, and it's another light-skinned hand, and you're black. Like, brother, we were literally picking baby names together. Totally.
I know for a fact that majority, and if not majority, but a large population of men have gone through the pump fake. And the pump fake is, let me tell you what the pump fake is. The pump fake is, right, when a woman makes herself seem like she's interested in you, then she ghosts you, and then a week or two later, you see her with another nigga in her story. That is a pump fake.
Not speaking from experience. Why do they do this? Like, do they just enjoy playing with our hearts and just breaking and turning our souls into horrible beings? I put Lululemon on your butt. You're supposed to eat mine too. I'm just so tired of it. But getting into a relationship with this type of girl is even worse though, because light skins love being in relationships and then cheating on you.
Bro, all light skins are loyal, bro. And if I'm wrong, may God strike everybody that watched this video right now. I don't care.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You are wrong. You don't say stuff like that. You are wrong. Relax, my guy. Relax. I'm not trying to get struck down by thunder. That is 110% not the case right here. I don't know what you just tried to bless, not even put that on me. You tried to put some, that's George. Like, what are you trying to do, my guy? What are you actually trying to do? Like, come on. Man said it,
It's like a canon event for every single one of them. They have to do it once in their lifetime. And the way they do it is very fucked up. Because at the start of it, they'll be the perfect girlfriend. They'll buy you food, pay for your Starbucks, cook for you, clean, and even suck your dick. But as soon as you do one thing, it can be very minuscule. That whole sweet...
I install my eSIM the day before traveling, so when I...
innocent girlfriend act. Yeah, that shit gone now. Her whole energy, her whole tone, her whole spirit, hell, the glisten Sprite sprinkle in her eyes will all change. And she'll turn into a soulless, blood-sucking vampire who thrives off of blood and negativity. And at that moment, you are no longer talking to Kaylee or Aaliyah. Oh no, that person is far gone. You are now talking to the ancient demonic spirit of Kambamalak, who has now possessed the body of your beautiful curly-haired light skin. Again, totally not speaking from experience. But this is just the true nature of thy light skin, especially if they have a white mom and a black dad, because those be the worst ones. The dad is always the strict, overprotective one, while the mom is the sweet.
Hey, so I was speaking to a girl the other day, and she said that there's actually a difference between a light-skinned woman who is what's it called? Who is raised by, no, not raised. There's a difference between a light-skinned woman who is birthed from a black mum compared to a light-skinned woman who's birthed from a white mum. Vice versa for the men as well. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I need to know if that's true. Is that true? That's something I just need to know.
Loving, nurturing, go be free, child one. And this is why they turn out to be as crazy as they are. Because their mom would never whip them because, I mean, she's white. But the dad would be overprotective, which caused stress and rebellion in the daughter. So it's a constant battle of just freedom and then slavery and then, why did I say slavery? Freedom and then non-freedom, and it's just a spiral that just drives them crazy. But that's not the only thing that drives them crazy. Because part of me feels like it's the spirit of their ancestors that does this too. It's like the slave and the slave master are just constantly fighting for control, but neither of them ever wins, so it just causes so much confusion in their soul. Their spirit decides to exert all of that wrath and anger onto other innocent souls. And I say, how dare they? How dare they cause all of that pain and anger onto me? I mean, other people. All we want to do is just fall in love with some curly head light skins. We don't want all of the pain and struggles that come with it. With all of that hatred and evil, their body naturally has to balance out somehow, so they choose other methods of cope, aka Hello Kitty and iPads. You know a girl's evil if she loves Hello Kitty. That's just a universal sign. I don't know what type of horrible spirits that the Japanese casted upon that cartoon kitty, but my brother in Christ, it has tainted the youth. Every single...
I was gonna actually defend them, and then I saw this, and I said, you know what? Let's carry on.
Soul that watches that evil kid and turns horrible, and they will cause pure evilness and doom and despair unto every man they talk to. And if your light skin has a pink iPad, oh, may the Lord be with your soul. You might as well pack it up. GG's twin, go ahead and get that gym membership, because she'll be on the phone with you, but she will be texting Newt number 32. She'll be texting you, but she'll be him. She's with the noops now. She's with the noops now. She's with, but buyer beware. If you ever try to confront her about it, she'll use her manipulation powers and somehow turn it into your fault. Talking about, well, I wouldn't have fucked him if you've been fucking me, right? No! You shouldn't have fucked him because you're my girlfriend.
Nah, so this guy's just genuinely hurt. I feel like this guy's gone. I say this. Yes, every man goes through a traumatic canon event of light skins, dealing with a light skin. But there's one thing I will say, yeah? Certain man, they can't get over it. They go through pure PTSD. Like, I'm talking, certain man don't want to chat to no more light skins again. There's certain man that there's certain man that are so heartbroken from the situation that they had with a light skinned woman, they will never, ever, 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 ever get over it. Like, they will never, ever, ever get over it.
If I wasn't laying it down right, why not just break up with me? You're obviously not happy. You don't gotta pretend you're happy. And I don't even know why you complain about 5 inches. That's more than... Not speaking from experience. Not speaking from experience. But it's their ego that really fucks them up.
When I forgot I could use my light skin superpowers is crazy. Bro, like, how can she just say that? Like, am I bugging? Like, that's crazy. But
you said being light skinned is a flex.
Okay, but it is. Is it not? Thank you very much. That's how you get things being light skinned. Dark skins or light skins?
Oh, light skins. Dark skins is horrible. No, I'm trying to get on y'all, but
alright, I'm gonna stop the video right there for a second. A lot of men that don't go for dark skinned women and go for light skinned women, there's definitely something wrong with you in the sense of like if you've never been with a dark skinned woman, or if you've never done a thing with a dark skinned woman, and then you've done a thing with a light skinned woman, then there is probably you have a preference. Yeah, we're not gonna lie, you have a preference, but at the end of the day, like, you should really and truly reevaluate your situation, especially if you're of color as well. If you're black and you ain't, because like, I always feel like every man should really and truly like, if you date light skinned women, you should date a black woman as well, because then you can weigh out the options and see which one is more better for you, because there are women that are actually better than you. There's like 3 categories, you know what I'm saying, in the black community: dark skin, brown skin, and light skin. And I feel like every man should experience 2 of the 3 so they can actually know what they like, you know what I'm saying. But if you're just saying that out of the fact that you only date light skinned women, then you don't really have a right to speak. This guy's not black, so he can let that slide, but he shouldn't even be saying what he's saying as well, really and truly, because he's not black, you know what I'm trying to say. So, but if he likes light skinned women, that's on him, that's fine, he can do that, but he shouldn't be saying what he's saying, because it's just crazy. That's a crazy comment. Could you imagine if everyone turned around and said they don't like dark skinned men? Come on, man, it's crazy.
Dark skins is horrible.
Like, light skins have such a big ego for no reason. Well, yeah, they do. They're attractive as shit. But they think just because they got curly hair, light caramel skin, bright brown eyes, and just a succulent body, that they can just do whatever the fuck they want to, and that's not true. I mean, just look at what happened to my boy Sharif Cooper. He was a top NBA prospect, bound for the league, with a very, very bright future. He even got drafted.
Bro, so we need to have a distinct conversation, right? We need to have a proper conversation. Is this nigga light skinned? Because if this nigga's light skinned, then I'm light skinned. But I've never sat down and looked at myself and felt like I was a light skinned person. I've never ever looked at myself and sat there and said that I'm light skinned. I've always perceived myself as black. I know I'm light on the lighter complexion, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely more fair skinned than the most, but both of my parents are black. So when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't perceive myself as a light skinned, like, I'm light skinned, but I don't see myself as the light skinned person. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I feel like personally, I don't act like one. That's how I genuinely feel. Like, I'm not overly cocky, I'm not overly confident. I'm mad introverted. I keep myself to myself. You know what I'm saying? I understand how the game goes. I know I'm not always the best looking person in the room. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I actually class myself as an official light skinned person. But if this nigga's light skinned, then I'm light skinned. And I look at this nigga, I don't think he's light skinned. He's more brown skinned. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know.
By his hometown team. But then he ran across one of the highest ranking light-skinned prospects of our generation. A girl who has some of the best highlight tapes of all time, and her unnatural two-tone eyes. The person I'm talking about, Ash Cash. And what Miss Ash Cash did is what she does best. She slurped all of his talent away. And now he's been bound.
You see, Ash Cash, generational talent. Generational, like, there is actually generational talent. But there's always a downside to having generational talent. She's a light-skinned generational talent, and that means she is probably, there's a top 3. There's a top 3 generational light-skinned talent, like top 3. Yeah, I don't think Ash Cash is number 1. I actually think India Love is number 1, because India Love is the original it girl. She's the original it girl. She was on Tumblr. She worked her way up. She's the original. She was an influencer before the word influencer was a thing. And not only that, she was a light-skinned influencer. So then that changed everything. Do you get what I'm trying to say? She is the final boss. I would like to think India's the final boss. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Ash Cash is like this generation's, not even this generation, but like she's like the second coming of India Love. You know what I'm trying to say? Just the only difference is India's leaks ain't out there, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think Ash Cash is like, when it comes to India Love and Ash Cash, I genuinely feel like it goes India Love, Ash Cash. I don't know who the third one. Who's the third generational demon light skin? Who's the third one? There has to be a third one.
around the NBA G League and overseas, and he'll probably never play on an NBA court ever again. And you want to know what Mrs. Cash did after she was through with this man? Left him for Duke Dennis. Already on to her next victim, collecting as many souls as she possibly can, just ruining these young men and Duke's lives just for fun.
Black queens forever.
Light-skinned.
Never. I said black queens forever.
Light-skinned.
Never.
So if you want to hear me talk about more topics like this, go follow the Twitch. Go join Sky Crew in my chat. I interact with my viewers all the time. Also, go follow my Instagram if you want to see more of me. And also, if you know how to cook and you know how to twerk, you have a show. Also, go sub to my reaction channel. I'll be uploading on there 3 times a day. So if you want to see more content of me, or if you just think I'm a funny, cool guy, I'm funny over there too. So go watch those videos. Besides that, appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you.
Do you know what it is, yeah? Do you know what it is? I'll be so honest, right? So, I feel like Lightskins have always had this whole factor of the way they act, the way they are, etc., etc. They think they're better than everyone, innit? That's the reality of it. But like I said, the prophecy always repeats itself. Every man in this life has to go through a point. It goes for a point in their life where they deal with a light skin and causes him a traumatic experience that he's gonna remember for the rest of his life. I've been there, but I'm happy I went through that. I'm happy I went through that traumatic experience at a young age. I'm happy I went through that traumatic experience at a young age, because if I didn't go through it at a young age, like imagine going through a light skin canon event in your 30s. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that. Obviously I'm not 30, but I'm just saying, imagine, I couldn't imagine being 30 and going for a traumatic experience with a light skin. That would probably, like, you would want to hit the reset button. You would actually want to hit the reset button. Like, let's be real. You need to, this is what I said. I said, if you haven't gone through a traumatic light skin canon event, you need to go through that from the ages of 16 to 30. That is your gap. That's your period. That's the period you have to go. You have to do it through that period. If you don't do it through that period, you're cooked. You're cooked, because that is an experience that you have to go through. That's, you get me? It's the prophecy of what all men have to go through. Yeah, we called it the light skin canon event. Yeah, and it's when you do find a light skinned woman and you do think that's the one, and she hurts you. It's just a fact. You get it? You have to go through that. You have to go through that. If you don't go through that, you it's a long story. If you and obviously that only applies to the men that are attracted to light skinned women. You know what I'm saying? Attracted to black, brown skin, light skinned women. That's what it applies to. But you have to go through that event. You have to. Trust me. You have to go through that event. I've been through that event, and I'm glad I went through that event at a young age, like a very young age. I went through it at a very young age, because, like, if I went through it now, like, I'm still young, so I still know how to deal with it. But yeah, I'm glad I went through it at a very young age. I got that out of the way. You know what I'm saying? And do you know what's the best thing about going through a light skin canon event in your life? After you go through that, it widens your mind. Like, your mind, you just become so much more wiser when it comes to speaking to women. You know what I'm saying? It's true. Like, when you speak to women now, you become more aware, more observant in their actions, because that is like the final boss of being hurt by a woman. You know what I'm saying? So going through a light skin canon event is actually a good thing. Just make sure you go through it at a young age. That's what I think, personally. That's what I could say. But yeah, that video is funny. Listen, we can go through, we can talk all day about that. But let's get into the next video, man. Let's get into the next video. What else is there?